Have you ever felt like your energy is fading faster than it used to? Or maybe you've noticed that even simple things like getting out of bed or climbing a flight of stairs just feel a bit harder these days? If so, you're not alone. Aging comes with its fair share of changes, but that doesn't mean we have to surrender to fatigue or sluggishness. In fact, many older adults are discovering creative ways to stay energized, and surprisingly, it doesn't always involve walking. Now don't get me wrong, walking is fantastic. It's simple, it's free, and it's one of the most studied exercises when it comes to heart health and longevity. Harvard researchers found that just 30 minutes of walking each day can significantly reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. But what if walking just isn't your thing anymore? Maybe your knees ache, or maybe you just want a little more variety. That's exactly what we're diving into today. In this video, we're going to explore 6 powerful alternatives to walking that can help boost your energy, support your body, and keep your spirit vibrant as you age. And be sure to stick around to the very end, because the final tip might just surprise you with how simple and fun it is. Before we jump in, here's a quick but important note. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Alright, let's get into the good stuff. Let's start with the first habit that can completely change the way you feel every single day: swimming. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Swimming? That's for athletes. But hear me out. Swimming is actually one of the best low-impact exercises for seniors, especially those dealing with joint pain or arthritis. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who swam regularly experienced improved muscle strength and cardiovascular health without putting too much strain on their joints. Plus, the buoyancy of the water makes it feel like your body is weightless. There's something freeing about that, don't you think? I once knew a woman named Linda, 72 years old and full of life. She hadn't exercised much since her 50s because of chronic knee pain. But then her daughter convinced her to join a local water aerobics class. Just twice a week, nothing intense. Within a few months, Linda was sleeping better, feeling more mobile, and smiling more. She even told me, "I feel like I got part of my youth back." And here's something fascinating. Swimming has also been shown to improve mood and cognitive function. That's right, getting into the pool might help your mind stay sharp, too. Let's move on to the second option that can give you an energy boost without lacing up your walking shoes: chair yoga. Chair yoga has become incredibly popular for a reason. It's safe, gentle, and can be done almost anywhere, even from the comfort of your living room. And the benefits? They're impressive. Researchers from Florida Atlantic University found that seniors who practiced chair yoga twice a week showed significant improvements in flexibility, balance, and mental clarity. The key here is movement that's accessible. You don't need to get on the floor, and you don't need to stretch like a gymnast. Simple seated stretches, slow breathing, and mindful movement can help reduce tension in the body and calm the mind. And let's be honest, stress is exhausting. Many older adults don't just feel tired because of age. It's the mental fatigue, the worry, the loneliness that drains us. Chair yoga creates space to reconnect with your body and quiet the mind. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference. I remember visiting a senior center where they hosted weekly chair yoga sessions. The atmosphere was so joyful. There was laughter, encouragement, and even a little music playing in the background. One gentleman, Roger, told me it was the highlight of his week. "I feel more in control of my body now," he said. "I don't shuffle like I used to." Next up, let's talk about resistance band training. Now, I know strength training can sound intimidating, especially if you've never stepped foot in a gym. But using resistance bands is a completely different story. These stretchy bands are inexpensive, portable, and surprisingly effective. They help strengthen muscles, improve posture, and even boost metabolism. Yes, your metabolism still matters after 60. A study published in Clinical Interventions in Aging found that older adults who performed resistance band exercises just 3 times a week showed significant improvements in muscle mass and physical function after only 12 weeks. One of the best parts? You can tailor the difficulty to your comfort level. Start with light resistance, focus on good form, and gradually work your way up. Whether it's bicep curls while watching TV or seated leg presses at the kitchen table, every bit counts. And here's a fun story. My neighbor George, who's 80, started using resistance bands during the pandemic when gyms were closed. At first, he could barely lift his arms over his head, but after a few weeks of consistent practice, he told me proudly, "I can carry all my groceries now without stopping at the car." Small wins like that, they're worth celebrating. By the way, did you know that maintaining muscle strength can actually reduce your risk of falls? According to the CDC, 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls each year, but strength training, even with resistance bands, can cut that risk dramatically. That means more confidence, more independence, and more energy to do the things you love. So far, we've talked about swimming, chair yoga, and resistance band training. 3 fantastic alternatives to walking, each with its own unique benefits. Whether you're looking to move gently, build strength, or lift your mood, there's something here for you. And we're just getting started. Now that we've covered these essential habits, let's move on to something just as important: how small daily changes can add years to your life. We're going to explore even more energizing alternatives, including one that might already be hiding in your daily routine without you even realizing it. So we've already talked about swimming, chair yoga, and resistance band training, 3 gentle yet powerful ways to stay energized that don't involve traditional walking. And I promised you more, right? Because the truth is, feeling vibrant as we age isn't just about moving our bodies. It's about finding movement that feels good, fits our lives, and keeps us coming back for more. Let's talk about something that might surprise you: dancing. Yes, dancing. You don't need to be twirling across a ballroom or auditioning for Dancing with the Stars to feel the benefits. Whether it's a few steps in your kitchen while dinner's cooking, or a full-on living room boogie to your favorite oldies, dancing is one of the most joyful and effective forms of movement out there. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that regular dancing was linked to a 76% reduced risk of dementia in seniors. 76%. That's not just impressive, it's life-changing. Dancing stimulates your brain, challenges your coordination, and lifts your mood in ways that few other activities can. I once met a couple in their late 70s who attended a community dance night every Friday. Nothing fancy, just some music, some laughs, and a little footwork. They told me it was their favorite way to stay young. "We don't even think of it as exercise," they said. "We just call it fun." And isn't that what we all want? To feel alive, connected, and full of life? Now maybe you're thinking, "I've got 2 left feet," or "I haven't danced in years." That's okay. This isn't about being perfect. It's about moving your body in ways that bring you joy. Even seated dancing counts. Put on your favorite tune, tap your feet, wave your arms, and let your body remember what it's like to move with rhythm and freedom. Alright, now let's take a slightly different direction. We've covered physical movement, but what about the kind of energy that comes from mental clarity and focus? Believe it or not, one of the best things you can do for your energy is to train your brain. Cognitive exercises might not make you sweat, but they're just as vital. Think of your brain as a muscle. It needs regular stimulation to stay strong. Puzzles, memory games, learning a new skill, even something as simple as reading a book out loud. All of these things help keep your mind sharp and your energy up. There's fascinating research from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society showing that seniors who engaged in daily mental challenges, like word games or learning a new language, experienced slower rates of cognitive decline and reported higher levels of daily energy and focus. My friend Sam, who's 84, started learning Italian just for fun. He spends 15 minutes a day on a language app, and he swears it's made him more alert and confident. He told me, "I'm not just learning words, I'm proving to myself that my brain still works." And that confidence? That's fuel. That's energy. Now, I want to take a moment to address something I hear all the time. "I'm too old to start now." I get it. It's easy to feel like the window has closed. But here's what the science says: it's never too late. In fact, studies from the National Institutes of Health show that seniors who start new routines, even in their 70s or 80s, often see faster progress than expected, especially when they stay consistent. That brings me to another beautiful alternative that's often overlooked: Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a gentle martial art that focuses on slow, deliberate movements and deep breathing. It's graceful, meditative, and incredibly effective. Research from Harvard Medical School has shown that Tai Chi can improve balance, reduce stress, and increase energy levels in older adults. And the best part? You don't need to be in perfect shape to start. It meets you exactly where you are. I once visited a senior wellness group that held Tai Chi classes in the park. The group included people from 60 all the way up to 90, and the movements were slow, fluid, almost like a dance. One woman named Jean told me, "This is my moving meditation. It's how I clear my head and get grounded." Tai Chi not only helps your physical health, it's incredible for your emotional well-being. The slow breathing helps calm your nervous system, reduce anxiety, and lift that mental fog that so many people experience as they age. If you've ever felt drained without knowing why, emotional stress might be the culprit, and Tai Chi can be a gentle remedy. Now let's touch on one more thing before we transition into our next big topic: what we eat. You might be surprised to learn that certain foods can zap your energy just as quickly as a poor night's sleep. Sugary snacks, processed foods, and even large meals late at night can leave you feeling sluggish, bloated, and unfocused. On the other hand, eating the right kinds of foods can supercharge your energy and improve your mood. For example, foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like walnuts, flax seeds, and salmon have been shown to support brain health and reduce inflammation. A Mediterranean-style diet, full of colorful veggies, whole grains, and healthy fats, has been linked to lower risks of dementia, heart disease, and fatigue. The National Institute on Aging published a study showing that older adults who followed a Mediterranean diet reported higher daily energy levels and better overall vitality. And here's the good news: it doesn't require a complete diet overhaul. Just small, consistent changes, adding an extra serving of vegetables, replacing white bread with whole grain, or swapping sugary snacks for fresh fruit. I know a gentleman named Carlos who started by simply adding a handful of blueberries to his breakfast every morning. He didn't change anything else at first, just that one thing. And after a few weeks, he said, "I wake up feeling lighter. Not just in my body, but in my head too." Small changes, big results. So now that we've talked about movement, mindset, and nutrition, let's take it even further. Because there's one thing that ties all of this together, and it's the secret sauce to staying energized long-term: motivation. It's one thing to know what to do, it's another thing to keep doing it, especially on the tough days. So in the next part of this video, we're going to talk about how to stay motivated, even when your energy dips or life gets hard. We'll look at real-life stories, practical tips, and some surprising research that can help you keep going when your spark starts to fade. Because you deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel alive. And you deserve to live every day with energy and purpose, no matter your age. If you're enjoying this so far and want more simple, science-backed tips to stay healthy as you age, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We share helpful videos just like this every week, because staying vibrant and energized is a journey we're on together. Now let's dive into something that many people don't talk about enough: how to keep going when life gets hard. Maybe your knees ache. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Or maybe you just woke up feeling like the spark's gone. That's real. That's human. And it's one of the biggest hurdles to staying active and energized as we age. But here's the good news. There are ways to push through that resistance, and you don't have to do it alone. I once met a man named Paul. He was 72 when he first picked up a dumbbell. Not because he wanted to bulk up, but because his doctor warned him he was at risk for serious muscle loss. At first, Paul was hesitant. He said, "What's the point now?" But after just a couple of months of light strength training, he told me, "I feel 10 years younger." His balance improved. His sleep got deeper. Even his mood lifted. Paul found something that worked for him, not because it was easy, but because he didn't give up. And science backs this up. A study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that resistance training, even twice a week, can reduce symptoms of depression, improve bone density, and increase energy levels in older adults. The catch? Consistency matters more than intensity. And this brings us to something really important: finding your why. Motivation isn't just about setting goals. It's about connecting those goals to something meaningful. Do you want to keep up with your grandkids? Travel without worrying about your joints? Be independent in your 80s and 90s? Those reasons, that why, can be the fuel that gets you moving even on the tough days. I spoke to a woman named Marlene who's 81 and still does gentle Pilates every morning. Not because she loves exercise, but because she wants to be able to garden without pain. That's her joy. That's her why. And it gets her out of bed even on cold mornings. So how do you find that motivation for yourself? Start small. Set a goal that means something to you. Maybe it's walking across the room without holding on to furniture. Maybe it's getting down on the floor and back up again. Or just feeling more awake when you open your eyes in the morning. Once you know what matters most, build habits around it. And don't worry if your motivation wavers. It's natural. That's why having a support system is so helpful. Friends, family, community groups, even a walking buddy or a virtual fitness class can make a huge difference. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that social accountability, just knowing someone else is rooting for you, increases your chances of sticking with healthy habits by up to 65%. But what if you're dealing with pain? Chronic aches can be incredibly draining, and it's tempting to stop moving altogether. But here's something most people don't realize. Gentle movement often reduces pain over time. I know that sounds backwards. When something hurts, the last thing you want to do is move it. But research from Johns Hopkins University found that people with arthritis who engaged in regular low-impact movement, like stretching or water aerobics, actually experienced less pain, not more. Their joints became more flexible, their muscles supported them better, and their overall fatigue decreased. It's not about pushing through pain, it's about moving with it, gently and safely. Always listen to your body. Start slow. Use supports if you need them. And most importantly, celebrate every little victory. Because every step forward counts. Now let's talk about something equally important, though it often gets overlooked: your mindset. Your thoughts shape your energy. If you wake up thinking, "I'm too old for this," your body is going to believe you. But if you start the day thinking, "Today's a fresh start," your energy follows that lead. A fascinating study from Yale University found that seniors with a positive perception of aging lived, on average, 7.5 years longer than those with negative beliefs. That's right, just believing that aging can be a time of growth and opportunity actually influences your health outcomes. So let's shift the narrative. Aging isn't a decline, it's an evolution. It's your chance to move differently, think differently, and live more intentionally. That brings us to one final piece of the puzzle: emotional well-being. Energy isn't just about what your muscles are doing, it's about what your heart is feeling. Loneliness, stress, and sadness can be just as exhausting as physical illness. That's why staying connected, emotionally and socially, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health. Regular phone calls with a friend, joining a local art class or book club, even engaging online with a group that shares your interests. All of these interactions spark energy. They remind you that you're part of something bigger. The National Academies of Sciences released a report showing that social isolation significantly increases the risk of premature death, especially among older adults. But connection, even in small doses, has the opposite effect. It boosts mood, strengthens immunity, and improves sleep. So if you've been feeling alone lately, please know this: you're not. And reaching out, even just to say hello, can change everything. Alright, let's take a moment to breathe that all in. You've now got a toolkit filled with alternatives to walking that can energize your body, stimulate your brain, and support your emotional health. From dancing and Tai Chi to strength training and social connection, each one is a step toward a fuller, more vibrant life. But we're not done just yet, because in the final part of this video, we're going to bring it all together. I'll share some final takeaways, give you a simple challenge to start today, and leave you with a little extra motivation to keep going, no matter where you're starting from. Because aging well isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something consistently, joyfully, and with purpose. So stick with me. You've come this far, and your best days are still ahead. You've made it this far, and I want to say thank you for being here. Really, taking the time to learn something new, especially when it comes to your health, shows just how much you care about living well. And that kind of dedication, that's what makes all the difference. Let's take a step back for a second and look at the big picture. We started by talking about energy, how it sometimes seems to slip away as we age, and how walking, while wonderful, isn't the only path to feeling strong, alert, and alive. Along the way, we discovered alternatives, joyful movement like dancing, calming practices like Tai Chi, resistance exercises that build you up from the inside out, brain-boosting hobbies, and emotional connections that nourish your soul. And if there's one message I want you to take away from this, it's that your health is in your hands. That might sound like a lot of pressure, but I actually find it incredibly empowering. Because it means you don't have to wait for someone else to tell you what's possible. You can start right now, in small, manageable ways that fit into your life. For example, remember how we talked about strength training? You don't need fancy equipment. Just 2 cans of soup and a sturdy chair can get you started. Or maybe you've been thinking about trying something like water aerobics. What if you picked a day this week to check out a local class? And if you're more of a social butterfly, why not invite a friend to join you? A little encouragement goes a long way. Even just 10 minutes a day of intentional movement can make a huge difference. That's not just feel-good advice, it's backed by science. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that older adults who moved for just 10 extra minutes a day had significantly lower risks of cardiovascular disease and mobility limitations. 10 minutes. That's all it takes to start shifting your health in a new direction. And don't forget about the mental and emotional side of things. If there's a hobby you've always wanted to pick up, painting, playing music, puzzles, you name it, this is your moment. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that mentally stimulating activities, especially ones that are new or challenging, can help delay cognitive decline and keep your brain sharp well into your 80s and beyond. So here's a little challenge for you, something simple but powerful. Pick one thing from what we talked about today. Just one. Maybe it's trying a gentle stretch each morning, or calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe it's dancing in your living room for 5 minutes to your favorite song. Whatever it is, choose it, do it, and notice how it makes you feel. Because the real magic happens when you start stacking those small wins. You feel a little better. You sleep a little deeper. You laugh a little more. And before you know it, you're not just getting older, you're thriving. And hey, aging doesn't mean giving up on vitality. It means embracing new rhythms, new routines, and sometimes even rediscovering parts of yourself you thought were gone. You're not past your prime, you're entering a new one. One with wisdom, clarity, and yes, energy. Experts like Dr. Michael Greger, a physician and researcher focused on nutrition and longevity, emphasize that daily lifestyle choices can have a bigger impact than genetics when it comes to chronic disease prevention. He's one of many who believe that how you move, eat, connect, and think each day can either build you up or wear you down. And here's something even more exciting. It's never too late. Your body is always listening. Your brain is always adapting. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, you can still make progress. So here's to you, to your courage for showing up, to your curiosity for learning, and to your commitment to making this chapter of life one of the most fulfilling yet. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. We've got so much more to share, and we'd love to be part of your wellness journey. Remember, you are not alone. You are not too late, and you are not done growing. Here's to living your best life at any age. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay kind to your body and mind, and keep moving forward. We'll see you soon.